let us see. That works here too. That's great. That's really great. I just need to change the timer because 30 minutes wasn't really necessary. So we'll go forward and check what's happening here. So I had the first question on Twitter. What's the occasion of today's stream? We don't have one, just because some of you requested a stream. I'm not going to provide a stream every day because it's, it's a different nature. Sometimes it takes just more time and so on and so forth. So, but as I'm providing a full analysis every Saturday, I'm absolutely flexible. So if you really prefer a Saturday full analysis via stream, including the Q&A, it's up to you. I'm absolutely flexible then. So let us see what the markets wants to do, because well, since yesterday it's not doing anything, just maintaining that level without any buy or sell pressure. It maintains it a very low level. Even the volume on Binance, it's not that bad. I mean, we are talking about 11,000 Bitcoins each hour, 10,000 here, and so on and so forth. Right now, even the last candle, well, with a declining volume, 8,400 Bitcoins. But it doesn't look that bad, to be honest. However, they are maintaining here at 19K and limiting at 19.2. That's boring. However, I think we have two scenarios this weekend. We will see some price activity this night, so in few hours. That's what usually happens. Or nothing will happen, because they are just absorbing as much as they can. As you see, they let the price go down while we have these limitations here. And as soon they try to push down, they even put more, they introduce more buy orders. So it seems a little bit they are, well, also reflecting a little bit the CBD on Binance, but it looks like they want to absorb some. Could be a sign that a little bit also as expected that next week could be green. Maybe we start with the red day, Monday, and then go over to green. We need to see. Because markets never only go to the downside. That's a fact. Okay. So even the trend is bearish. Within this trend, we have also bullish moments, even if it's short term. Okay, then let us start, I would say. Let me check what's happening on YouTube. Luis Martins, hi Inspo, great to hear you. Great to see you here. Masmil, hi my lovely friend. Welcome back on my stream. I love you too. So when will you buy BTC at which price? Believe me, you don't want to hear their reply, my answer, because I'm not going to buy Bitcoin. I know some of you are maybe now pissed with me, and I'm sorry for that. I'm not. It's not that I don't like Bitcoin at all. I like the technology. I like the spirit behind. But it's just my entry. Even if it would go down to 3K, it's not in my interest. I like more altcoins, but Bitcoin is king. I mean, it's the main driver of the whole crypto market, and that's why I'm analyzing Bitcoin instead of alts, for example. So I'm not going to buy Bitcoin because it's not in my interest. It's not part of my portfolio strategy. That's the only thing. Maybe if I would have a different strategy, Bitcoin would be in my interest, but it's not. Well, I mean, Bitcoin, even now, below 20K, it's a dip. It's really a dip because it has potentially enough space to the upside if the whole scenario that I have described it's going to play out. And then we will see Bitcoin at least at 30K in 2023, in the beginning of 2023. We will see how far they want to push up. In my opinion, 40K also be possible. That would be 100%. So, but you know, that's the point where I wouldn't buy Bitcoin, because it's not, I would like to make more than just 100%. That's the thing. So, if you are interested to buy Bitcoin in the long term run, everything below of 20K is a good price, in my opinion. So in case I would have such a strategy, I would start to accumulate Bitcoin already, because I still have my doubts that we will go much more to the downside this year. Everything can change, and it's a challenge to predict and to make such forecasts with the whole dynamic situation we have. But in my opinion, we can retest the current bottom of 17.7 or 76. But in my opinion, we are not going to make any big new lows of 15, 14, 13. Not saying the bottom is in. I mean, maybe for this year. But in my opinion, we will go even lower next year, because I think that the bad case is going to happen next year, after the first half of 2023. But we will see, as mentioned. I don't have a crystal ball. So let us start, and let us start as usual. We are going to make now a full analysis. We are starting with Wales ratio. We are then checking the flow activity, then futures, and so on and so forth. I will try every time when I close the chapter to check the comments on Discord and on YouTube. I'm sorry, Twitchers. I can't do that for all channels because then it's going to be a big challenge for me. So, yeah, if you are watching on Twitch, maybe it makes sense. Well, wait. Let me see. Twitch. Okay. One person watching on Twitch, so I don't think that's going to be a big challenge then. Okay, I will check also Twitch comments then as well. Otherwise, it's going to be too complicated for you guys. That makes it easier. Yervant, welcome to my stream. So let us start. As mentioned, if you have any questions, place your question. I will check them after every single chapter. We will skip option trading because I checked option trading. We will check gamma and gags. That's the only one, but as expected a little bit. So we will check and analyze the option trades we have analyzed already yesterday. So it doesn't make sense to spend time there. Let us start. And the only thing I'm still missing is my lovely epic pen. Where are you? Here. Great. So, nothing here. Really, absolutely nothing. Weights ratio, 1 day maintaining 50. Well, it's flipping between 60 and 40, and we know the average is 50, and that explains also a little bit why it maintains here right now between 50 and 49. So at the moment, it's still higher than just before, and you can see what happened end of the year. That's where we were, and now it's still very high compared, but also indicating that the sell pressure maintains there. So, and yeah, we need to see if we can detect any accumulation, but nothing changed big since yesterday, as you can imagine. So On the weights ratio 30 days moving average, we can see we are on hold at the moment. We need to see what's going to happen here next. If they want to push even more up, or if we are going to decline even more, indicating, well, the big sell pressure is over. Also possible. So let us go forward. Weights ratio 1 hour time frame. Well, at the moment at 84, declined a little bit, but that's that's usual for weekend. Usually also whales want to rest a little bit, so they are not really active. Few acceptations we had in the past when the price action started to be a little bit more active than today. So I would say nothing happening today related to the weights ratio, and that explains why even the weights ratio 30 hours moving average is not doing anything. It's just declining a little bit, but nothing big really. Today it reflects very well what's happening to the price action, because since yesterday we declined a little bit, so we are below this Friday CME close. That's why I'm longing right now, but just to make some bucks. And yeah, so we really need to see what's going to happen here. Even stablecoin supply, stablecoin reserves on centralized exchanges, it declined, but not today. It declined Thursday. So Thursday was a day where a lot of things changed. So stablecoin supply reduced, stablecoin reserves on centralized exchanges reduced, and from here also the weights ratio 30 hours moving average. Both make sense because these guys were done. They distributed enough, taking out now stablecoins from centralized exchanges, sending to treasury, burned there, convert in fiat. That's it. So perfect picture, correlates very well. We are done here. Let me check now some comments. Where do you think DXY will reach resistance? Okay, high sky still. That's okay. That's a question I will reply at the end. Just if you have any questions to the current chapter, but I don't see any questions here. No. Okay, perfect. So we can go further. Flow activity. Also here, as expected, since yesterday. Yesterday was the last big inflow with 2,650 bitcoins. That was close before Wall Street closed its doors. 1 hour later, we had an outflow of 2,940 bitcoins. In my opinion, someone was expecting the last big pump to distribute, and that would also explain why we had such an outflow. Since then, nothing big. The biggest we had today was 500 bitcoins. And you know what I see usually then? Peanuts. Exactly. It's really peanuts. But we need to have the ratio in mind. So weekends, we don't need big inflows because we know we have a lower volume. So you can drive the price with less bitcoins. So also something we need to have in mind. 500 bitcoins doesn't sound a lot, but 500 bitcoins on Binance, if we have in 1 hour 8,000 bitcoins, doesn't sound a lot, but if they dump all these 500 bitcoins at once, it would have an effect to the price. At least we would go down, for example, even for short term to 19k or even lower. I mean, not big at all, but it is what it is. It's a usual weekend. At least I like this kind of weekends and Saturdays than those where we are just scam pump or dumping just to shake out some futures. It's not happening at the moment. Absolutely not. Okay, so again, we are done here. I check. Any questions? No. No. Okay, then let us go forward. Futures lifted up, declined, lifted up, maintains. So also here, even the trend is a little bit more negative, indicating they are demanding more shorts than longs. Very flat, really very flat. Even here, you see stablecoin activity, so flow activity related to stablecoins and derivative exchanges, nothing. We had here a bigger activity that was actually yesterday. Just I would say, yeah, it matches very well. It seems that some whales were also expecting some volatility due the speak of Jeremy Powell yesterday. That was sad because I was expecting he is going to really to have a speech and to talk about the economy, and well, it was much more take my hands, let us dance our names right now, tell me what are you doing, and maybe so it was for me it was a marketing event for the Fed just to show all the people out there, at least those who are interested, to show, hey, look, we have contact with real people, our policy is not driven by, I don't know, by a cards, stars, or whatever. We are taking entrepreneurs very serious. That's my comment to that. So just a big fake in my opinion, because the policy, well, I mention everything in my space. In my opinion, what the Fed is doing, they see the wall, and instead to reduce the velocity of the vessel, it's just pushing more ahead and accelerating, in my opinion, because they had a very, very good opportunity to reduce the interest rates increase, and they didn't. So it was, in my opinion, it was a very aggressive move by the Fed. Anyway, here mentioned Bitcoin flow activity related to derivative exchanges, 3,300 Bitcoins here, 2,400 Bitcoins here. Afterwards, it declined a lot. We had also 2,000 Bitcoin outflows here, 2,600 Bitcoins outflows here, and so on and so forth. So also here it's reducing, and usually that happens even on Fridays to Saturdays when nothing big is going to happen. So I was wrong expecting that this Jeremy Powell speech could be a very tough weekend. It wasn't an event, so nothing happened. Okay, so let us go forward and check. They are not shaking out anybody, really anybody. A little bit more the shorts than the longs, but just because they are maintaining that level at 19k, and people are expecting we are going to break the 19k, but to break the 19k we need sell pressure, and the sell pressure is not coming. It's just, it looks like distribution at the moment, while some people, it seems, are accumulating. I don't know if that's just a short-term profit accumulation, just to go a little bit more up, to distribute then and then to go down once again, because I'm still convinced we will retest our area at 17.7. I don't think we are going to go up directly until end of the year in my expected level of 28k without to retest that area and level of 17.7. I think such kind of spring would be necessary. It can take a little bit maybe, but even we go up, I think we will go down once again. Of course, we will see. The last big move was, of course, against the shorts. But once again, if we compare just the volume, They liquidated here 1,345 bitcoins to longs, while, for example, here 285 bitcoins in short. So, you know, it also illustrates a little bit we have much more longs than shorts and the balances. And that also matches very well to what Blockchain Whispers is indicating. If we take here, we can see funding rate, what it's doing, as mentioned, maintains zero, neutral. So we are, at the moment, we have a neutral situation where bulls and bears are demanding an equal volume on longs and shorts. So that's why the funding rate, it's not doing anything. Open interest recovering. So it went up, afterwards it declined, now it's going up, and leverage ratio also here indicating it went up, declined, so they liquidated some late and high leverage positions, and now it's recovering. But this time at least not that quick like the open interest. Let me see. Oh, well, sorry. Sometimes I need to zoom out here because it's a dynamic chart. So the leverage ratio is recovering once again quicker than open interest. Well, that's usual. That's normal. Like I said here, you remember where I said, that's not good at all, and usually that triggers something, and they triggered it because it was clear for the exchanges. Well, we don't need to make any big move to liquidate all these guys. And they did it. Even it wasn't a big liquidation because they liquidated here just 200 bitcoins in longs, another 160 bitcoins in longs, another 200 bitcoins in longs, and some shorts as well, but nothing big, just because, in the balances of Blockchain Whispers, you are also getting informations about all futures there. So not only, and that's the big difference between CoinGlass and Blockchain Whispers. CoinGlass is showing you, for example, the difference. So the change of open interest within 1 hour, 1 day as maximum. While Blockchain Whispers is showing you the total balance of Binance future market. And that's the interesting part. Doesn't mean that we can see if in the last hour more longs are coming, and that's why we are using funding rate to detect such kind of trend. So that's Binance right now. That's just a chart for Binance, just to see what's happening here. And also here we can see that after the funding rate declined very hard, afterward it started to lift up. So also on Binance, the trend is clear. We are going up with longs, indicating they are demanding more longs than short. In sequences, we had a break and they demanded more shorts than longs, but the trend is clear. Also here we can see that the leverage ratio recovered quick, more than open interest, and then they started to liquidate them. Once again, they did it. Look what the price did. We went down. That was after Wall Street closed its doors. Once again, in my opinion, driven by leverage ratio, because they know it's so easy to liquidate them, even if it's not a big thing, but So yeah, open interest, it's bleeding. It's really bleeding. If we compare that, it's recovering right now. We had even less after the big dump in June. It was mainly in June. We recovered very well after the price went up. Now declining, maintains relatively high, still in a very good positions. And the main driver here at the moment in the last few days and weeks, in my opinion, is indeed the leverage ratio, because it's easier for them. Hi Tang, welcome. So then Blockchain Whispers, we have talked about that. Let us take a look here. we can see even if it declined, we see we have still too many longs here, much more than shorts. We still have a long short ratio. Some people ask me, do you think it's accurate? I mean, I can't avoid to use blockchain whispers and just go directly here, go to 1 day, for example, go to the long short ratio 1 day also, for example, and to multiplicate this year with this year. And that's what blockchain whispers is indicating here. So yeah, it is accurate. The question is Binance providing the truth? That's something I can't tell you. That's something nobody can, except Binance stuff or CZ, for example. So I would say, yeah, it is accurate. In such case, we see we have 66 to 34% long short ratio. If we go to Binance, sorry, that's the long short ratio. We have here 32 to 68%. Long short ratio is 2.09. It's exactly what blockchain whispers is illustrating here. So it's not a difference. However, that doesn't look bullish at all, in my opinion, because usually exchanges will try to liquidate as much longs as possible before we lift up. Let us take a look to the Kingfisher. Let me spin and win. And no! Okay, that was close. That was very close. Binance. Let us start here. Okay, it reduced in volume because we had here liquidations 100 millions yesterday. Now we have 80 million, so minus 20 millions. We have a liquidation cluster at 19,600. Oh my god. So I will maintain my long. And on the long side, yeah, we need to go down to 16 or something where it would make sense. So obviously it would make more sense to liquidate this part here than this part here, mainly this here. So let me check and make here a little bit. Oh no, I can use, well, yes, that's the big one. That's another big one, low leverage. And let us check what FTX is doing if the structure looks similar. People ask me, why are you comparing FTX and Binance? Due the fact that FTX is using the same algobots, their algobots also on Binance, while Bitfinex is using OKEx, Huobi, and Deribit for their algobots. So let us see. No, it it looks at least a little bit different. Even we have here at the same level also short positions. Still, well, it maintained, also reduced from 8,000 yesterday to 6,000 liquidations. But yeah, someone is here. It looks like someone is here longing big with low leverage, and that's it. So FTX from the structure really looking different. So don't see any correlation here. That's it. So let me check. Just back from protest. Hi from Iran. Hey Mehdi, welcome, bro. Yeah, be very careful. Very, very tough what I'm seeing on TV. Just because of the protest. So be always careful. Be safe. Stay safe. Always go and protest for your rights. That's always a good thing. But tough time. So I check Twitch. 4 people right now there. Welcome, guys. And I check Discord. No, nothing there. Okay, great. And then let us go forward. We will check now future trading, option trading, sorry, but only this year because I checked just the strategies and nothing have changed since yesterday. So it's exactly the same we have seen yesterday. Even on Gamma, nothing big changed. Just puts here reduced. Also here. Oh, okay. I was hearing something. I thought it's from outside, but no, it's my cat. She's sleeping. Okay. So and we have a gamma call wall there. So if we take a look now, we see that puts on 20k, but the biggest one 18,750. They lifted up by $250. And the next one at 17.5. But compared to calls, wow, 20,500 here and 21,500 here. So, in other words, we have a resistance at 20,500 and another at 21,500. But if we break, we will have backwind. So they will push up. Here, exactly the opposite. We have a support area, well, usually a support area. That's a resistance area here at 20k by puts. So resisting, they don't want to let the price go up. We have a support area at 18,750, but if we break 18,750, we will have back wind. So they will push more to the downside, even here at 17.5, but they reduced volume there. I don't know why. If we check the GAGs, just because of yesterday's little pump, we are at minus 4,000 when the price was at 19,126. So as we are right now, well, it's the level. I would say it's the same. It's center, it's neutral. We can go up, we can go more down. As you know, I flipped a little bit more to bullish than to bearish at the moment. Not expecting a big rally now. Just, to take a breath, go up, I don't know, to 22, 23k maybe. And then I guess once again down. I'm still missing the retest of our current bottom. And I think it's, at least that's what I would expect, is to see exactly that retest before we go up again. Let me see. Luciano, what do you think about the tweet of George? Puts in SPY 356 and 359. Well, first of all, that's a thing. I talked about that yesterday with George, and he told me don't take a look too much to the strike price. Yes, we can go a little bit more down, and that's why I said Monday could be red, but I think afterwards we will go up, because then we will see a short squeeze on SPY. It's just becoming once again too bearish, and that's like X. When it's too negative, usually the market makes the opposite. When it's too positive, the market solves this problem, dumping the price. So 356, 359, it's possible. Last time we had 30 millions notional volume. Someone bought on SPY puts for 362 or 363. And that's why I said yesterday in my space, we will bounce here. So if we take a look, they bounce at 363. And now we are up. So can we go a little bit more down, yeah, it's possible. It's possible that we start, that SPX will start just in Monday morning to decline, and the opening will start at 360 or something, go a little bit more down, and then starts the short squeeze. So, yeah, Luciano, it's possible. We don't need to go exactly to 356. It's enough if we go to 358. Oh Jesus! I try to to speak German now with you. 358. Okay, so that's where I think it also makes sense. So yeah, Monday cooled red, and afterwards we lift up. Mehdi, thanks Inspo. Sure, always careful. Yeah, absolutely. Big love. So let us go further because I don't see any other questions. We have checked now the gags. We have checked now the gamma walls. We go directly now to the CVDs and check what's happening there. As you see, you don't see anything new. So if the X not really interested to buy, they are even selling even more, and that's what we can see. I thought maybe from here it will start to lift up. No, they even distributed more while the price went up. Sorry, I sometimes I need something to drink. Aggregated spot lifting up. We know one of the drivers could, and I think it's Coinbase. Still very interesting seeing what is happening to Bitcoin collateral futures compared to stablecoin collateral futures, doing exactly the opposite. And that's the only thing where I think, that looks bearish. So yeah, it's possible that we go a little bit more down before we go up. So that's absolutely possible to have such a red start in the week and then start to go up once again. I didn't see and check the events before, to be honest. So maybe that would be a nice opportunity to check what is going to happen next week. Let me check the filters. Oh no, clear everything. I just need US and Europe at the moment. And for next week, oh my god. Okay. I need some vacation, I guess. Wow. I make just a screenshot, it makes more sense. Okay. Tough week once again. This one could be positive for euro. Means the XY down, means equities go up. Then Fed Chair Powell speaks. We will see if he is going to speak in a kindergarten or what he is going to do. We need to check first what kind of speak that's going to have to be. Well, yeah, CDJO, it's fine, could be interesting, not in my scope. This one would be in my scope, CB consumer confidence. It's going to be really interesting what they are going to release here. New home sales, not really. Wednesday, once again, could be bullish for euro, even short term. Crude oil inventories, unfortunately, nobody is taking a look to crude oil inventories, but it's one of the indicators how an economy is looking like, especially in the US. And they failed every forecast they did in the last few weeks. They always were expecting more demand and they failed. So usually absolutely not good. Thursday, could be, well, very red. Depends on the GDP. Initial jobless claims. CPI for oh my god. CPI in Europe could be bearish for euro and give DXY a push to the upside. Core PCA price index could be a foretaste of inflation data and also very interesting. So those here could push up DXY a lot. A lot. This combination is very explosive. So, yeah, we need to see. Just to give you a little bit sentiment of. I didn't check really. I should make this more frequently, but I didn't check that. So, well, Monday could be green instead. Tuesday, we need to see, could be red for SPY and so on and so forth, and instead and for Bitcoin, and good for DXY. Wednesday could be a very neutral day. ECB President Lagarde speaks. As mentioned, I don't know what she is going to tell. Fed Chair Powell, let me see what he is going to do. Federal is to speak as a head of the Fed, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Okay, they are not telling us what kind of speech he is going to have. We will see. So let us say Monday, green for equities and Bitcoin. Tuesday, I would say more red than green. Depends on what is Powell going to say. Wednesday could be green once again. Thursday depends on GDP. Very volatile. Because a negative GDP is also not bullish for the US dollar. However, we need to see. And Friday, finally, CPI for Europe. Wow. Bearish for Euro, bullish for US dollar. Core PCE, price index. If it's higher than expected, could be a foretaste of inflation data. So the CPI in the US. And that could be also bullish for US dollar. I know that sounds nice. Why? Because they are expecting more rate hikes then. So we need to see. If the core PCE price index is going to be less than 0.4%, that's what they are expecting, it could be green. With a positive CPI in euro, that could be extremely positive for the US dollar then. Because, I think that a negative CPI is priced in the DXY, and CPI plays here a bigger role. But in the opposite way, I don't think so. So we need to see. It's going to be a big and very interesting week. So, yeah, we need to be very careful. However, I think that Monday is going to be then green instead of red and then go to green. It seems we will start green and then go down back, and maybe we will retest our bottom 77 then, and then finally go up. We need to see. So let me check. Wow. Musmil, I love you too. Thank you very much. Aaron Meissner, what do you think about S&P, Dow, and NQ? They seem more bearish than Bitcoin, but they probably won't last. I mean, it depends. Bitcoin is just going to follow them as well because, and SPY is the main driver at the moment because they are using algos, and these algos are just following the SPY. So, in my opinion, markets can go straight down. Never happens. Never. Only in a crash scenario, and then for that kind of crash scenario, we really need a big event. Escalation in Ukraine because of a referendum and so on and so forth would be a bigger event that could create such a black swan event, for example. Something I still don't think so. I don't think that's in Russia's interest at the moment and the Western interest to escalate this situation. Also, I think that's a process. Always happened. That's a process. They are in a preparation. They observe them each other. I mean, the NATO is observing the Russian military since 2 years in detail. Checking their drills, checking what kind of equipment they are using, and so on and so forth. Usually, the Russians did almost the same when 2020 the NATO did big drills directly close to the Russian border. So it's a process. It takes a little bit of time. I just predicted last year that the escalation in Ukraine is going to explode, is going to escalate. That's what happened this year. In my opinion, a bigger war will take time. It will take time. That's not going to happen from one day to another. Absolutely not. I don't think in this year something huge is going to happen. We can have in sequences conflicts, and we will see that the escalation is going to, to go even more up. But at the moment, I wouldn't say, and I wouldn't expect something huge this year. Luciano, aumenta la demanda de crudo. Tenía entendido que USA prefería reducir la demanda de crudo. Okay, he is asking me. He was understanding that the US was preferring a less demand in crude oil. A less demand in crude oil means that the industries just demand less, and that's also a performance indicator, indicating they just are producing less. So, no. As I know that the White House is even using the crude oil inventories, and that could be the only scenario where I could imagine where the White House would prefer to have a less demand by the industry. It's because they are using this crude oil inventories to reduce the inflation. So if that's the case, of course, I mean, that could be possible, but we know, I mean, to reduce the demand in crude oil inventories, it's usually an indicator that industry is demanding less, and usually that means that your economy is shrinking. So usually nothing that would be good. Oh, okay, I see your second sentence, the production. I don't get that now. To reduce the production of crude oil is not in the interest of the USA. No, absolutely not. I mean, if that would be the case, the USA wouldn't care if Venezuela is saying, I'm not going to sell you my crude oil. And the US wasn't really happy when they just went to Saudi Arabia and the Saudis just said, well, short term, of course, we can rise our production, but afterwards, in 2 months, we will reduce our production once again. And that plays very nice in my scenario of a deflation, worst case, in the coming month. Because I think that's something that the Saudis already know that's going to happen. And that explains why OPEC Plus announced they are going to reduce their production to maintain a price. And we will have maybe short-term a rising price in crude oil. I think the crude oil price will really spike when tensions on military level will rise up. That's where Many countries will demand more crude oil, and that's where the price will go up like a rocket. But the Saudis and OPEC Plus, it makes sense to reduce their production a lot because deflation will demand less crude oil. To maintain a price, you need to produce less crude oil. They know that. So it makes, and that matches perfectly in my scenario. In my opinion, and that's why I'm really angry with the Fed and with its last decision, in my opinion, that's going to happen next. It will flip. Inflation will start to decline. Many people will celebrate that. And that's wrong, because we will shift directly hitting a deflation. That's why I said just yesterday in my space, I prefer to maintain 9% of inflation instead now to have a scope to maintain or to let the inflation go down to 2%. That's possible if the trigger of your inflation is an issue of your own economy, national economy, but it's not. It's a global one. You can't handle everything that comes from outside. That's the big risk of a globalized economy. That's what many other economists warned about just years ago. Joseph Stiglitz, I mentioned it yesterday in my space. Joseph Stiglitz, he published enough books warning about the globalized economy and the consequences in such case. A disruption of the global economy will bring a lot of pain to different countries, almost to every country, and the Fed has only limited tools to handle it. So with the last big interest rate decision, and when the inflation starts to decline, and it's not starting to decline because they did a great job, they will start to decline because Joe is noticing that people surrounding him are now jobless or have problems to pay their bills. So it's triggering a psychological mechanism. People will start to save money in fear. And that's the trigger of deflation. They are not going to consume because they will think, no, I need to maintain my money in case of. So it's easier to trigger exactly this mass reaction of less consume with fear, for example, but it's much more difficult to flip the situation, to attract people to consume once again. I mean, just ask, like I said yesterday in my space, if you ask, for example, Japanese central bankers what they did in the 90s and 2000, just to try to push up the and to avoid, just to jump out from the deflation train. They were just giving away checks and money to attract people, and it didn't work because people still had in mind, so, oh yeah, I got more money, well, it's in my safe account. They didn't spend that money, and that's worst case scenario. I mean, it plays very well if you are saying you will be poor but more happy because we will not consume. We will say, no, I'm happy, I'm fine, I don't need to consume, and that's the problem. But that's deflation. And deflation is a big problem for the whole economy, because then the economy starts to shrink. Then companies will start to reduce its staff more because less demand in servers, less demand in production goods, and so on and so forth. And of course, less demand for crude oil. So everything is a big network with a lot of different parameters and factors that plays together. And so I think, and that's why I'm a little bit pissed with the last Fed decision. Tihoya, okay, that's a nice name. Sounds like a watch. Do you think Ripple will get cheaper in the short term? I don't trade what I think. I just trade what I know. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I like Ripple. I know it's you know everything has advantages and disadvantages. But for me, the use case and business case in Ripple is clear. It's absolutely clear. But I'm not a fan of people there saying and singing from day to day, Ripple to the moon, $1,000 per tokens, because that's, I don't like that, because it's not going to happen. Ripple has its future. I don't have any doubt. It's, for me, for Ripple, even more clear than for 99% of all altcoins. But to make big money with that, only if you are buying the dip. I don't think that Ripple, I mean, it's not even clear what role is XRP, the token, going to play when Ripple network is going to be used by all bankers. I don't think that a bank, for example, is going to say, oh, look, let us buy some tokens to transport some information. Oh, today it's at $5. It was at $3 yesterday. Oh, that's crazy. Now let us wait. No, it's not going to happen. Banks will buy or use a system when it's clear for them, when it's easy to manage and to handle. A token with a certain volatility is not going to make them happy. So the big question is, how will the Ripple network have a positive effect to the token? That's something I don't know yet. I like Ripple, but I know the system. I know that many banks are a big fan of them. I know that they are certified by ISO 222. I know that banks, at least in Germany, are going to realize this implementation next year. But I don't see the link between XRP token and Ripple system. Because I know in Switzerland, it's one provider. They are already using the Ripple net to make upload transactions. And as I know, they don't need the token for that. So that's something I would research. But yeah, I mean, however, when the system is implemented, they will make a lot of marketing and the token will go up. I mean, if we talk now straight together, 80% of the success of every token in crypto happens because of their crypto marketing campaign, even related to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on and so forth. So I think XRP will in future, in the next years, go up, maybe to $2, maybe $2.50 or something. But I don't think that's going to make $100, $1,000, like some maxis are saying. I don't believe in that. Absolutely not. I have a bag of XRP. I still have it, but I reduce it a lot. I sold to a very nice price. I bought in, that was November 2020, if I'm right. That was 20 cents or something. So I did a very nice profit with XRP. I like the technology behind and so on and so forth. And I know that it makes sense. It's useful for bankers. But I have my doubt that XRP is going to make, what I said, $100 or $50 per token. I don't think so. Let me go forward with my daily analysis, because otherwise it's going to be a big challenge in my opinion. Let me check if I see some questions. Michaels on Discord writing, Powell speaks on Tuesday about crypto in Paris. Oh my God. Okay, that's a nice information. Okay, Space Tuesday, guys. Space Tuesday. Will we be a Tuesday space or live stream for sure? For sure. Oh my god. Okay, it's going to be very exciting. However, CVD, we see FTX not looking very bullish at the moment, looks more like distribution than accumulation. Okay, so let us go forward. Binance, as mentioned, did almost 10,000 bitcoins in CBD since 22nd in 2 days. That's huge. Bitfinex, flat, nothing, really, absolutely nothing. Well, in Coinbase, but Binance, that's crazy. That's really crazy. From here to here, they did almost 10,000 bitcoins in CBD. That's crazy. That's really crazy. So, entities. These guys accumulating. These guys accumulating. These guys, well, reduced a little bit, but the trend is clear, accumulating. Once again, wallets with less than 100 bitcoins are accumulating. These guys here, I told you, push up, down once again. That's what they do. They buy the dip, they sell the top. These guys, I don't know why they are doing that. Why, in particular, this kind of entity, but they love to make quick short-term profits. These guys here, pain in the ass. My lovely market maker entities. These guys with insider information, with the best trade behavior, that initiator of every single fake rally we had last summer, where they were accumulating, these guys are only reducing their balances more and more and more. That's what I said today in a tweet, because someone asked me, well, are they accumulating? Because I mentioned I'm a little bit bullish and expecting a bullish price move to the upside until end of the year. And I said, no, it's not required. They have big bags. And that's going to be worst case scenario. With that accumulation go up to distribute even more. And that's going, and that's my expectation, it's going to be a huge exit rally. Not saying we will make new all-time highs. At least I wouldn't expect them. But we will go up, I don't know, to 40, maybe 45, maybe even 50K. And afterwards we will crash. We will go even more lower. 12, 10, something like. That's my expectations at the moment. It's hard to see how these guys are since mid of February reducing their balances from 5,320,000 bitcoins to 4,870,000 bitcoins. That hurts, really. Well, and then we have, of course, this here. Entities, almost 80% of them are just linked to Gemini, Binance, Bitfinex, Coinbase, FTX, and so on and so forth. It makes sense. And you see the correlation. They go down, they go up, because their reserves are rising. Also, nothing good. Okay, so now I check any comments once again. Musmil, sir, SPY hit low again, but BTC didn't hit low on Friday. Why, sir? Oh, because they are buying. They are accumulating. They are buying. So when you know that the algo is selling, and you can see that due to the volume delta, and you see the price is not going down, I don't know, in my space, I think it was yesterday where I said, I don't know, was it yesterday or was it in my live stream? I don't remember anymore. Where I said, and then it jumped by 600 bitcoins up because someone is buying. That's what's happening. The algos doesn't stop to work. They are just following SPY. So if you are a bull, you want to absorb at a price, and you know this algos SPY is now going down, they buy. But it's not the first time. It's not the first time that Bitcoin maintains while SPY is falling. Then the SPY session is done and Bitcoin goes down afterwards. They accumulated. Everyone was thinking, hey, looks extremely strong. I go long. We will go up afterwards. And then they dumped. That's, once again, accumulation, maintaining a price, or even going up and then nuke. It's a usual institutional stamp. I know, my guys. I'm working for institutionals. I'm not a trader, so I'm not providing any information to them how to trade. Thanks God, I'm not. But I know how they trade. And, you know, an institutional is working with big volume. So they don't care if they have to pay $500 more per Bitcoin. They don't care because they have a strategy. Their output is going to be much higher, so they really don't care. And that's why institutionals can accumulate quick while the price is going up and then dump hard. And you say, they are making loss right now. No, they have a strategy. They know exactly that afterwards they will make a bigger volume trade and will make much more money afterwards. That's how institutionals work. And that's what I'm seeing on FTX since few months. And it matches very well, maybe just really a coincidence, but it matches very well because that started to happen after the meeting between Sam, the FTX CEO, and the Goldman Sachs CEO, Salomon. Afterwards, FTX started to make such kind of moves. Just accumulate quick and dump afterwards. When everyone on Twitter was saying, look, FTX is accumulating. That's bullish. And I said, I don't know. That looks strange because it was looking strange. And I was right. They nuked afterwards. That was institutional stamp. That was the first time I have detected such an institutional move on FTX. I didn't see that before. Maybe just coincidence. I really don't know. So let us check Coinbase and so on. So we will have a little bit more time, but then I'm going to close this session. Wow. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. That's crazy. They are reinforcing now once again extremely levels even at 10,600. Also here 12,400, 14,000, 16,000. Oh my God, I really don't like that. Well, let us start. Coinbase. Limiting the way up at 20k at the moment and limiting the way down at 18k. We see here a cluster of volume below of 18.5. Makes sense because, as mentioned, everything below of 18k, it's going to be a big, and I mean really big red dildo. So they will try to prevent that as much as they can. Otherwise, well, just as mentioned, more liquidity coming to, once again, to lower areas. Something I really don't get that. Why to reinforce walls at 14k? Why to place a wall at 10,600? These walls are buy orders. It's pure liquidity. It's money. I don't get that. Because if you have Bitcoins, that's another thing, you know. Okay, you send these Bitcoins to Coinbase, you put just a sell order at 37K, for example. Okay, no problem. But liquidity? Fiat? Why? I don't get that. I really don't get that. But they are doing it. I don't get that. Deribit. Limiting the way down at 18.6, 18.5, and 19.4 at the moment. That's what they are doing. Also here, much more buy orders to the, hitting 18.7 at the moment than to the upside. Bitstamp. Bitstamp big here, waiting at 20,200 and limiting the way down at 18K and below. Also here placed a new wall at 16.7. 12.50. What is that and why? Oh, Binance limiting the way up at 21.8, limiting the way up at 21.2, limiting the way up at 20, limiting the way up at 19.6. That's why I have a long. But short term, you can see they are limiting the way down at 19K and at 19.2, and that's why the price is doing just a sideways run in this extremely tiny range. But they are right now also here reinforcing 18,500, and you can see here the volume. They reinforce the volume between 18,000 and 75. Placing new walls at 14.3, 13, reinforcing here, placed a new one at 11, reduced even more at 25K. Oh my god. Bitfinex spot. So also here doing exactly the same, 19.2, 19,000, limiting the way up at 19.7, and that's it. They reinforce 17.5, but that's it. FTX perp limiting the way up at 19.8, 21.5, new wall at 15, and bringing some volume between 18.5 and 18. As mentioned, they really want to prevent 18K because they know that means pain. OKEX, nothing. Kraken limiting the way up at 20,000, bringing some volume here as well between 18,000. Yeah, 18,000 here, reinforce the wall once again, bringing some volume until 17.5. So maybe retest of the current bottom. BitMEX. Okay, they removed almost all walls. They placed another one at 12 or 11.6. They still have here sell orders. Remove the big sell order here. So also here 18K, and here between 21 and 21H. Otherwise free until 13.7. Binance futures, longs and shorts. Waiting here between 15 and 14, and another wall at 13, so waiting there to short, to long. Also here at 7,600. Well, however, once again, you can see that they are here bringing some volume for long orders, while the short orders are not that big anymore. So it's much more here in that region between 17.5 and 18.6. Hafiz, you can see that here. That's why I'm using at the same time the order book. You if you see some, for example, some volume here, you can see at the same time if the volume is there or not. So that's why I'm using both order book and Luciano, a mí tampoco. So BitMEX derivatives, almost nothing. A long order 12.3, but nothing big. They removed here volume at 16, but the long orders, and I mean the short orders, nothing big. We have here, but we need. That's I don't know what they are, why they do that, but only then we can see that. Here we have a cluster of long and shorts, but it's extremely, that looks much more retailers like. Kraken futures, okay, nothing big. OKEX futures, OKEX at 18.6. Also here like Bitfinex, like Binance and FTX waiting there, but nothing big, just to maintain the price at the moment. And FTX spot. FTX spot between 18,000 and 17.5. As you can see, they brought more volume and liquidity here, placed walls to the downside. I mean, check that. Here, they removed here 2 walls. They reinforced here at 10,000. They reinforced here at 12,600. They removed liquidity at 12k. I mean, at 15.6 waiting there. Wow. They removed the wall at 19.8 and instead looks very solid here, 20,300. Otherwise 18.5, but they are waiting here. That's the big liquidity concentration between 18,000 and 17.5. That would match to my scenario of retest our current bottom, maintain there, bring some fear. I still think we are far away from capitulation, and I think these guys, they know that. It was too bullish last year. It was retailers celebrated everything. And when you are telling people all the time, I remember I was tired. I did breaks on Twitter because I was tired. People who are extremely bearish now were just, even in October, telling us Bitcoin 100k until end of the year. Bitcoin to the moon 100k. Bitcoin to the moon 150k. Yes, because of Plan B. Yeah, because of Goldman Sachs now providing Bitcoins, or JP Morgan. And now these guys are telling you Bitcoin is a Ponzi scam. Wow. At least JP Morgan CEO. And it was a little bit like brainwashing, like that people are still bullish at 19k. It's not surprising me. Because it's like disbelief. It's like, it doesn't matter, Bitcoin will go up, we will make 100k, it takes a little bit more, it doesn't matter, but we will do it. Because they heard that 12 months every day. I was really tired because of that. But however, doesn't mean Bitcoin can't go even to 200k in few years. It could be possible, but you have to be realistic. And many influencers out there, as mentioned, many of them are now extremely bearish, but I remember them very well and I did a lot of screenshots. I don't want to share slaps, and that's why I'm not going to show all of these screenshots I did. But some of them were so bullish and now indicating we will see more lows. Sometimes I would say, just close your mouth. Stop using the keyboard. Well, however, so as you can see, we have here 20,300 and so on and so forth. So the big activity here will be between 18 and 17.5, and that would match very well. So that's it for today. Now I'm going to check a little bit what you are here asking. Bro, Inspo, are we going to nuke or hold this price for another week? Taking into account what week we are going to expect next week with European CPI, PCE, well, at least volatility, bro. At least volatility. I think we should see the retest of our current bottom. And maybe we will go up once again, because that's what they love to do. We go up, we collect late longs, and then we nuke. And the nuke could be, for example, 21, 22k, and then go directly to 17.6. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Absolutely not. You're welcome, bro. So let me check Twitch. No questions there. Okay, now it's just one people watching. All three Bitcoin maxis said, oh no, this guy, I hate him. But it's not against Bitcoin. That's Maxis has to understand that. That's not against Bitcoin. I don't hate Bitcoin. I don't hate really any token on crypto. I don't hate them. But for me, trading is money. It's pure money. I'm not doing it just because I want to support Bitcoin, the community or whatever. I'm just doing it because I want to make money with that. And I just can make money with that if I analyze the market as it is, without illusions, without visions, without, pray and hope. Only then you will make money. Otherwise, you will not make money. It is what it is, unfortunately. So, last questions, and then I'm going to close here. Let me see. YouTube. Hafiz, hi Inspo, and thanks again for a very informative session. You're welcome, bro. Price action for altcoins have been holding stronger since Terra collapse. Can we expect altcoins to have similar percentage or better if BTC drops, let's say, by another 30 to 40%? Yes. We can. And that's what I'm expecting. But I'm accumulating really, really slowly right now. I was much more aggressive end of 2020, October, November. I was extremely aggressive end of 2020. And I think that the bottom is not in. I think that the ultimative reversal should be at 10,000. If we lose 10,000, then it's over. Then really it's over. Then we don't need to make any analysis anymore because it doesn't make sense. For me, it's clear just because also market maker entities both at 8,000 and less. So everything above of $10,000, it's fine for them. It's money. It's okay. It's really okay. So we can even go much lower. And I think that's the problem. They don't care. They just don't care. They will sell 15K. They don't care. 14K. Yeah, that's okay. That's fine for us. Let us sell at 14K. That's the big problem we have at the moment. So for me, reversal 10K. Ultimately, if we lose 10K, then it's done. Then it's done. Then these guys don't care about anything anymore. They just want to sell as much as they can just to exit. And that would be extremely worst case scenario. But I wouldn't say we are there. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So what is happening here? Oh, someone. Okay. So Escart, sorry if you have been asked a lot, but what is this service you are using here? Is this Exxon? No, it's Trading Light. I like Trading Light. Trading Light has CBD, order book, thermovision. I only use that, for example, to see some potentially algo activity on Bitfinex, for example. You will see that, like here, for example, when they are pushing, they want to push to the downside the price, okay? Then it spikes to the upside, and then afterwards it goes down, like here, for example. And that did exactly the opposite. So when you see such a spike, the price is going to flip. I just know Trading Light with such a feature. Then I have the CBD. Then I have the order book. Then I have almost all important peers and exchanges. Then I have a different of alts here as well. Only using them for my personal purpose, not using it for any analysis because otherwise it will take years. And that's it. I have here also my volume profile. So I would say Trading Light is covering 40% of the whole information I need related to crypto. And that's why 90% of the time I'm using only Trading Light to trade, to see my entries, my entries, my exits. And you see, we are forming a new POC here. So even if we go up, we will go down once again. And if we go down, we will go up once again, and so on and so forth. So it's extremely useful. And I'm not even using all futures here. I could even see the demand more in detail. For example, I'm not using it. So yeah, sometimes I use just, for example, different apps with the same informations to verify the truth of the information. That's why I like to do, for example. That's something I have in mind from my professional life. That's how I work. I always try to confirm everything. Sometimes it's pain in the ass. Luciano, jaja, estoy en long, pero voy a tener que elegir capaz los 19,600 como max profit. He is just telling me that he is long and that he's thinking about to make 19.6 as exit strategy. Luciano, I can confirm that's exactly my take profit. 19.6, exactly 19.6. Yes, I have at 19.6, I have my take profit, so my exit for my current long, and I have there the trigger for a new short at 19.6. So Hafiz, how do you, well, I replied to you already. Oliodofo, Hello, Inspo. Great work as usual. Please, a quick question. What's your outlook for next month? You earlier tweeted that you expected end of the year bullish price action. Do you still maintain that stance? Yes. Yes. If nothing huge happens, like a black swan event on geopolitical stage, because in my opinion nobody is talking about, but it's even more important than the monetary policy in the US. I think a sell-off could be triggered by a geopolitical event, and that could be a black swan one. So if we are not going to have that, and it's not part of my plan for this year but for next year, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. So let me see. Hafiz, the buy wall volume shown on heat maps are a few thousand compared to the total BTC holdings for entities. As a percentage, their liquidity on walls is low, right? Well, they use different channels, bro. They use futures, they use options, they use OTCs, and they use, of course, also centralized exchanges. Because to move the price of Bitcoin, some people say and think that you can move the price only with futures. That's not correct. That's not correct because futures always depends on the underlying asset, and the underlying asset is always spot. So Bitcoin spot. If you research, you will find a formula how future markets calculate the Bitcoin future price without any impact of collateral effects like, you know, funding rates and so on and so forth. So you have more demand for longs, then more demands for shorts. That also brings some dynamics to this formula, to this price. So if you want to drive the market, it's necessary to use almost all channels. That's what Bitfinex did in the past. Every time when they printed 600 millions or 1 billion over the weekend, it's what they did. They sent few hundred to Huobi, some to OKEx, some to Binance, some to FTX. So they sprayed their liquidity and then they push up. Also with futures, of course. So that's what they are doing. When people say flow activity, inflow, 7K, that's peanuts, Inspo, they are not going to move the price. Yes, that's, you know, many informations I'm providing, like the inflow activity, it's not indicating me, hey, they are going to dump the market with 7K Bitcoin. Of course not. I mean, 1 hour candle volume on Binance makes 10,000 Bitcoins. But they use different channels. They only trigger with those 7,000 Bitcoins. That's the fact that many unfortunately don't understand. And otherwise, I wouldn't spend 1 second with future markets. Otherwise, I wouldn't spend 1 second with option markets. I mean, option markets, by the way, is indirectly only having an effect to spot and to, because, you know, you are buying an option, nothing is going to happen. Of course, the market maker has to hedge, for example. That's possible. That would be a directly impact to the price. But otherwise, it's not going to happen any impact to the price. And it seems just few know that. And that's incredible because some of those people, many influencers with 150,000 Bitcoin, sometimes they are making tweets where I think, I don't think you know how the market works. But it is what it is. So, yeah. They use just different channels. And when you see, for example, here on Binance, 750 or 700, what is that? 764 Bitcoins. Of course, that's not big. But what I can tell you is as soon as the price goes down, they start to introduce more liquidity here. That's just a wall. Doesn't mean that's static. It's not. They push and start, you know? So that's something you can see. Sometimes I see the walls much more as a way to communicate each other. You can go to 75, but then I wait in there. You need a lot of money if you want to break that. At a certain moment, it's much more communication tool. It's communicating with us. The market is always communicating with us. Always. It's telling us what's happening there. Where are the trends? Where, for example, the price level, where they meet each other, where it's, that's the POG, where demand and supply meet each other in an optimal way. So markets are always talking to you. You need to understand their language, and you need to use. You don't need to communicate with the market, but you need to understand what the market is telling you. Yerband, Inspo, ¿alguna alt recomendada que esté en Binance? He is asking me for a recommendation. Yerband, yo nunca recomiendo nada, porque esto sería una recomendación financiera y me traería problemas. Nunca lo hago. Te pido que en Twitter te fijes en los tweets que he hecho. Para mí, yo personalmente estoy acumulando Atom, Quant, Fusion, Luxo. Luxo no la vas a encontrar en Binance. Fusion no la vas a encontrar en Binance. Pero Quant y Atom, por ejemplo, sí. Y en Genesis, que es una de las OTC más grande que hay en cripto, en el report del principio de este año, si no me equivoco, habían anunciado que las ballenas estaban acumulando Atom. Y bueno, si te fijas en el precio, la verdad la performance no es nada mala. So I'm just talking and telling him I'm not making any recommendations because I'm not financial advisor, but just telling him that I'm accumulating Quant, Atom, Fusion, Luxo. He's asking me in particular for Binance. On Binance, you only will find, for example, Atom and Quant. Fusion, I think you can buy on KuCoin and OKEx. I think you can buy, and Huobi, if I'm not wrong, but not true. And Luxo, as I know, only KuCoin and Gate or something. So yeah, that where I would say, I mean, I have mentioned many times why I'm accumulating them. Luxo, just it's going to be the coin related to NFTs with a serious business case. So far away from, look, I'm an artist and I'm making, I mean, I like that. I really like that. And as you see, the demand is there. But Luxo is bringing and adding to NFTs more metadata. And NFTs is going to be the ID of every product we are going to purchase. So their business case is huge. And they just have a supply of 100 million because they are based on Ethereum blockchain. And the CEO of Luxo is a former senior developer of Ethereum smart contracts. So a crack. I like them. You can buy them for $4.50. It was at $40 just few months ago. You know, I'm not buying big. I mean, I'm buying. I'm accumulating since they dropped to $3 in June. However, I think it will go a little bit more to the downside with Bitcoin. Also Atom, for example, and Fusion. Well, Fusion maintains its price, unfortunately, but Fusion is for me I love this project. So I think that was a long session. Once again, more than expected. However, it was fun. Someone is asking about Reef. Yeah, Reef sounds also interesting, but I like to invest my money in low supply coins. So everything less than 500 millions is in my portfolio. I make exceptions. So Seller, for example, is an exception. ANKR is an exception. Dogi is an exception. And so on and so forth. But yeah, usually everything with less than 200 million tokens with a solid business case, it's absolutely on my list. That's it. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and big love. Trade carefully. The weekend is not done. Nobody knows what's going to happen next week. I was expecting potentially a red Monday and then green, but it seems the opposite could happen. So means we should start then with a green Monday and could flip to red afterwards. However, Lagarde is going to talk at 3 p.m. Central European time. That means 2 to 3 hours after SPY starts its session. So it's possible that we start a little bit red before we go up. But we need to see. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Big love. Tomorrow is my day off. Only to rest. I will try not to be on Twitter. And so I hope you too. Big love. Be careful. Your Inspo. Bye bye.